Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome in to the FC Podcast, the 10th edition of the FC Podcast. As always, I'm your co-host, Killer Gunny 132, with Toast 78901. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fine. I'm hoping to get this done soon so I can take off. Not that I don't love you guys, but I love my girlfriend more.
Yes. Well, first off, this is our 10th episode.
Yes, it is. This is episode number...
Episode
number 2. Times 5 plus 4 minus 4 times 8 divided by 8 plus 7 minus 5 plus 2 minus 4.
Math. It's a thing.
It's what's for dinner.
What is that even from? What is that from originally?
Know. Where's the beef? Anyway, so yes, it is our 10th episode. We finally lasted, we're going on about 2.5 months now.
Yeah.
Of actual podcast.
Yeah.
About 3 months, 3.25 months of actually like planning and doing stuff, plus the 2-week hiatus we had there. But regardless, you guys didn't come here to listen to us reminisce about the good old days. You came here for some good old FC shit.
All right, so let's jump right into the battle results for Sunday, May 26th. This Sunday, we played on Exile, which Blue attacked, and we played on Guardian, which Red attacked.
Exile!
And let's start on Exile, which is a 6v6 symmetric map, and...
It was dropped down to 6v6, because people did not like a Lagaru.
Exactly. Well...
Actually, be Ragaru. I'll stop before Blackhawk sends in an angry message.
Alright, well, since I last looked at it, the stat book has been changed, but before the games were forfeited because of ineligible players, Blue had only won 3 games. But now 2 games were made Blue wins because of ineligible players on Red's side.
Which gives them 5 wins,
yes,
technically.
Which gives them 5 wins, which isn't too much better.
Out of 18.
Yeah.
Most of which were exhibition because Red won by game 12.
And 2 of those wins were Legacy. So...
Legacy!
Yeah. Really, I mean, Red bulldozed Blue on Exile. I mean, it wasn't fair. And then we go down to Guardian.
I wouldn't say that it's not fair, unless you mean that in the figurative sense.
In figurative sense. I'm not talking like,
Okay.
I'm not fair, I'm gonna be stupid. Anyway.
And then Blue comes around and surprises everybody on a 4v4 asymmetric map, Guardian, and they end up pretty much doing the exact opposite of what Red did. They ended up winning almost twice as many games. Yeah. They ended up concluding that whole thing by game 22, it looks like, is when the Blue victory was declared. Looks like a lot of asset from what I'm seeing.
Yes,
a lot of asset,
a couple occupation and conflict, but yes,
one or
a
two
lot
extractions.
Of yeah, if you go back up to the Exile game, you'll see that Red played a lot of Dominion because they needed Dominion games.
Dominion wins.
Yes, and Blue played a lot of assets, so there you go. But yes, Blue won Guardian, a 4v4 map, and last week, if you remember, Blue won Monolith. So Blue is really revving up on those 4v4 maps.
I think what it was is for so long that was Red's forte that we decided to drill it as much as they did, and then all of a sudden, just like, they started getting decently better at them.
Yeah, and I think this is also showing that same thing, because last week it kind of chalked it up to Red doesn't have its best players because of the DLC problems, and now they did it on a map that doesn't require DLC.
With quite a few new Red members that are actually looking pretty hot. We even saw a couple, like, earlier today, because I've been disconnected, I decided to check the stat book while this was going on. I got home about the middle of battle night. And I ended up looking, and I'm like, who the fuck is that? Wait, who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is this? Like, all of a sudden, I was just like, who are these squads, and where are they coming from?
Yeah, Red had a couple new squads, which brings me to my weekly squad statistics, like who did the best. The top squad overall, and also the best squad in Red, was the newcomers Velocity, who went 5-0.
Followed by Red Watch and Nova. I'm assuming the RW is Red Watch.
Red Watch.
Red Watch
it's
Nova,
one of their fire teams.
With 3-1, VBD with 3-1, Vanquish with 3-2, and then the top blue squad, Legacy, with 7-5.
And then Sparta went 3-3. Cyberdyne went 3-4. But yeah, that's pretty much the pictures. But the newcomers Velocity went 5-0, so that should be interesting to look at.
Definitely.
Now let's move on to some FC news. First of all, a little Salvation Army update. We've got our codes now. We have 5 that we recently purchased using the Halo Unity money, and we also got a bunch of donations, so thank you to the people who donated.
You guys are definitely getting brownie points. You guys are awesome. I know I said I'd send cookies. The first person to send them in. I believe the first person was Jumanji. So if you're listening, newer guy, sends in listener mail. Definitely great to have you as a fan. I will be sending cookies to all the members of LR because I had promised them in the mail. Yeah, actually in the mail. Well, once I get their addresses, if you want, send me your address and one of the podcast things, you'll get a cookie as well.
Yes, we will be making an in-depth post sometime later next week about what we have and for you to apply.
However, I want you guys to know that just because we have quite a bit of codes right now does not necessarily mean to stop sending them in.
Yes.
The thing is, what it seems is going to happen is we're going to get them and then not have them and then get them in a wave again and then not have them. And it's not that great for sustainability. You're going to have us go on a couple week hiatus where we can't help anybody. Mm-hmm. So if you have them, definitely keep sending them in. Don't think, they have enough. Send in anything you've got.
Believe me. We want to keep them going because we don't want to run to another point where we don't have them. We have to turn people away because that sucks. Yeah. So just keep sending them in. Also, another piece of FC news. If anyone doesn't know, because it hasn't really been publicized publicly on the forums, it's only in the Blue forums. Former Blue Field Marshal WSX Phoenix, some known as Red Leader, has stepped down from the position. He stepped down on Saturday. He made a post in the Blue forums, and he made everyone know in the Blue officer chat on Skype that he was stepping down. He cited personal reasons, and from what I hear, he's actually seeking a neutral position in the War Council.
Yeah, he says essentially that he's very active on the site and wants to be able to help out with stuff like that, but he just doesn't have the time to commit to Xbox Live and other stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And we will miss Phoenix. I've known Phoenix for a very long time. He's a good guy. So I hope he does well in life and that he can get that neutral position in War Council, because I know he was very passionate about what happened in War Council.
He's a cool guy. He does forum stuff and isn't afraid of anything.
Yes. You have any thoughts on Phoenix?
Yeah, I do. Phoenix, you are one of the 2 field marshals that I've had so far. If you are listening to this, I hope you are. I love you lots, buddy. Go ahead and send me a message sometime. We still need to chill. You not only, gave me a couple heads in Blue Army, but, you stuck up for me at times when it was necessary. So, great guy, does FC stuff and doesn't afraid of anything.
Yes, but I think that wraps up some FC news. Now we're going to get into some podcast news, just small things.
News. I'm Ron Burgundy.
Yeah. First of all, me and Toast here have been discussing a possible live E3 edition of the FC podcast where we actually record it live.
Live breaking news. You'll never know what hit you.
But we are still working on the details, what we're going to do, but we just want to let you know that we're working on that, and we will make an announcement sometime in the future.
Also, send in some suggestions. I'm not going to make a poll about this, because polls everybody will see right now. I only care about what the actual people who listen to this podcast think. Yeah. Send us in some listener mail and let us know. We're thinking about only live covering the Microsoft Day, and then the other ones maybe just do a wrap-up, or we might do live every day. It all kind of depends. We'd love your guys' input on it, though.
Also, just a little off topic, but it kind of E3 related. I saw that Destiny was going to be revealed at the
Sony,
PS4. Yeah, the Sony press conference.
Yep.
Okay.
Which makes me very, very upset. They're totally whoring the fact that they're partnered with Activision right now. Yeah. And that they're coming out on the PlayStation market.
We also have some possible segments that we've been thinking up that we've wanted to
incorporate,
but we don't really know what the community feels about them. One of which is sports. We've talked about this on the podcast before. We never really seriously addressed it for the community to seriously address us about. I'm an avid sports fan. Some would say obsessively, and I could talk for days upon hours. And if you guys want to hear some of my thoughts about whatever's going on in the sporting world, please let me know, and I will have a small segment about it.
Also, I want to bring back the tirades. We've only had one so far, and that was in episode 3. The problem that we found is, to be honest, it's time constraints.
Yeah.
It's hard to cover FC news, cover the listener mail, and a discussion, because normally there's something that's coming up in the news, and then also cover a segment. Yeah. Who knows, we may end up doing maybe a show midweek that has just segments or something. Something. I'm just saying. Yeah. You seem a little hesitant, but I'm just saying we might come up with something is what I'm saying. I'd love to hear the community's input on that, whether they'd like to see us produce more content. Mm-hmm. Whether they'd like to see us lengthen it, which I don't think so, considering what we've seen so far from the polls.
Yeah, speaking of the
poll.
We'll
address that here, actually, right now.
The poll.
So, first off, I'd like to mention, I offered that 30-minute thing as a fucking joke, because I didn't think anyone would be serious about it. And y'all motherfuckers had at least a third of the people say that they wanted a half-hour podcast. In case you didn't know, a half-hour podcast is half of the listener mail and the fucking news segment at the beginning.
Yeah, we're hitting 15 minutes right now just on the news segment.
So actually, it's going to be some of the warm-up edited out, but even Bubba, I looked ahead at his mail, and you guys are here this later. He even mentioned, he commented on everybody who wanted a half-hour podcast and said you guys are fucking retarded because you don't realize how short that is.
Yeah.
Maybe it's short attention spans. Regardless, that disappoints me. Another third, actually a full third, said they wanted it to be 60 minutes, where we
Same length we've had, yeah.
Shoot for now. And a third made up the 90-minute and 120 minutes. So it was a third for shorter, a third for the same, and a third for longer.
Yeah.
We're probably going to go on the average, and just kind of probably go for what we've been shooting for. Maybe,
but we'll be more flexible with it.
We'll be a little flexible. We won't worry too much about going over because
Yeah.
we realize that a third of our listeners are okay with it.
Yeah, if it's a little shorter than our mark, we don't really care. If it's a little longer, we don't care either. We'll be flexible with it.
Yeah, because it's pretty much seems that you guys are pretty much split.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely let us know if you guys have any comments or concerns about that. I think the poll pretty much speaks for itself, but don't hesitate to let us know. We check the listener mail avidly. I know I check it daily. I have it beamed straight to my phone, so.
But yeah, I think that does it with the news.
No, it doesn't.
It does not.
You have one giant piece of podcast news that you're not touching on. Can Gunny figure it out?
I cannot figure it out.
I
cannot figure it out.
You're supposed to fucking write your answer down. You ran out of time, good sir. I'm gonna have to count that as a contest of no answering. Actually, he's writing it down. Wait, this just in. Gunny says chicken scratch. What does that say?
IDK.
It looks like a P. IPK. I fucking know, but like
IP on kids.
PHOEP on kids. Anyway, no, what Gunny is forgetting, guys, is that we actually have the 800 Microsoft Point raffle going on.
Oh, yeah.
Starting the week after this podcast. So I don't mean the week after. I mean, once you guys hear this podcast, this listener mail week, which is the week after a certain podcast, okay, is where we're going to start counting that. And the point is going to be breakdown as follows. 1 point if you send us listener mail. 2 points if you end up sending us in and also talk about something relevant to the show, like we mentioned something and you give feedback on it or something you want us to cover. 3 points if you recommend something for the podcast, like a segment or something, and we decide that we're going to implement it. And you get an extra point on top of whatever you were doing if you send us a code.
Yes.
1 point per code. If you send over 2 codes, they will be half a point per code.
Okay.
And then round to the highest note, to the next number. So say you send 3, that'll count as 3. If you send 4, that'll count as 2. So you'd actually be at a disadvantage there. I shouldn't have said that on air. But regardless, I'll come up with some point system. You'll get fucking rewarded.
How about just 1 point per code?
Fine, 1 point per code. So people who are sitting on large amounts of codes are going to win this raffle now. But yes, guys, we're going to end up doing this. We're going to do our live drawing, live in quotes, on episode 13 of the podcast. We're going to be keeping track of these points. I'll post them in the poll in the thread every single week. However many points you have is however many times your name goes into the hat. We're going to pull out a fucking name, and that person gets the 800 Microsoft points that were donated by Fuzzy.
I thought we were doing the raffle based on their listener mail.
Yeah. What did I say?
You said just based on code sent.
I meant points. I apologize, not based on code sent. I'm not going to edit that out. Just keep it, roll with it. Try to undo the confusion here, and depending on how many points you have, depending on what you sent us in your listener mail. Depending on the quality of your listener mail, etc.
Okay.
Make better sense now?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that now wraps it up for the news segment.
No, there's one more piece of news.
Oh,
man,
geez.
you are slipping.
Okay, what?
The fact that I think that you are a lovable person.
Oh.
And I want you to know that you're my bestest friend.
Okay. Thank you.
That's how you fucking take it? My undying affection, and you tell me, okay, fuck this shit, I'm done!
We'll be right back here on the FC Podcast. Stay tuned. welcome back into the FC podcast. Back with Killer Gunny 132,
Woo!
Toast 78901,
Woo!
and our guest and friend Papa Big Dick.
Hello there.
If you guys are getting tired of seeing him, sorry. Turns
Seeing
out,
him.
like I said, hearing him. Like I said in the last podcast, he's back, and our hangout nights just happened to coincide. If you guys have a problem, we can kick him off the show. It's up to you guys.
Well, according to listener mail, people
yeah,
like
according
him.
to the listener, people are fine with him. I think it's another voice of discussion, which, by the way, we're going to start having people again. We've been busy recently, but we're going to start contacting people.
Next week, actually.
Next week, yes. Next week, we're going to have somebody on the show. They're also going to be here for a discussion.
We're going to have Kaz. I'm just letting you know right now.
Wait, we are?
Yeah, because next week the weapon...
Oh my god, that's right. Next week, expect a full-on, in-depth look at the weapon releases. Kaz is going to be there for that discussion.
Kaz will join us.
That's what he wanted as his debut, Kazol. If you guys are like, who the hell is Kaz? Anyway. Definitely a great guy. He's going to have a lot to say. Kaz knows his shit with that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So he's going to be here for a full-on discussion with us.
But for the discussion part of the show, we decided to dedicate it to listener mail because we got a bunch this week.
We got quite a bit. We got more than we're used to. And I know that we did 2 shows this week, so people had a lot to say in each one. Mm-hmm. After this, though, what it seems happening is we're getting a lot of dedicated people who actually take the time to send in listener mail. We might not be able to cover every piece anymore.
Yes, but still send them in.
Because it's going to take up time. Send us in what you definitely know. Actually, here's the thing. If you want it sponsored on the show, it's just going to have to be good. So essentially, all we're saying is send in your listener mail, but if you want to be on the show, you have to contribute something.
Yes.
We're not going to read the little quips of, hey, good job. But we'll accept that. Here's the thing that I will say. To every piece of listener mail that we don't talk about on air, I will personally send a reply to. Yeah. Talking point by point. I'm not going to forget about you guys.
Yeah.
We won't be able to address it on air.
But now, the first piece of listener mail, and the one I think we're going to spend the most time on, is definitely the listener mail.
The long-awaited one.
The long-awaited one we got from fucking Yeesus. OCR Yeesus finally sent in his rebuttal about Mass Effect.
And he begins it with, "Here you go, you fucking bastards."
That was the subject.
You know it's going to be good if it starts off with that sentence.
And let me go ahead and cover this. You can go ahead and cover the listener mail, Gunny, because you know him better. But he sends us a picture at the top, and I gotta say, this is the best summary of Mass Effect I've ever seen. He goes, "Yo, dog, I heard you don't want to be killed by synthetics, so I made some synthetics to kill you every 50,000 years, so you won't be killed by synthetics."
Oh my gosh.
Best summary of the series I've ever seen.
Alright, well, it starts off like this. First off, I want to say you can't simply choose the best Mass Effect game. Mass Effect 2, the best. Gameplay in Mass Effect 3 was smooth and less clunky. Gameplay in 1 was original and captured that epic feel. Mass Effect 2's storyline started with a random unknown threat and horseshoed it around to connecting them with Reapers, which became identified as really big, holy fuck shit, these guys don't fuck around and they're coming! They're all great, just don't pick one, you cocksuckers. Well, I mean, I think you're allowed to have a favorite.
Yeah, you're allowed to have a favorite. Like, we're not necessarily saying that one of those games is better in all around. I mean, we're just, what was our favorite? What did we,
Mass Effect 2.
Correct us if we're wrong, he says. But I believe we said what was your favorite one, not what was the best one. Because, like you even said here, each game had its own little thing. I mean, that's kind of like comparing Halo games. It's kind of which one is your favorite, not which one is your best.
Yeah, I believe I chose Mass Effect 1, you chose Mass Effect 2.
Yeah.
Anyway, he continues on. Exploring in Mass Effect 1 was unique and a rewarding experience, provided you put the time into it. I remember playing the game drunk one Midsummer's Night for the first time, and as my Mako drove toward the artifact on a grassy flat plain, I had my first Thresher Maw experience. Scared the fuck out of me the first time when it came rippling through the ground like a fucking tremor. Kevin Bacon! But it was awesome. I guess I'm a nitpick perfectionist, but I like the game. I will do everything in my power to get the most out of it. But I included every side quest in games like Dragon Age and Skyrim to finding every single super bouncing crack in Halo 2. I love finding and mining minerals in Mass Effect 1, as well as boarding derelict ships with my ragtag team of motherfucking ass kickers. Exploration played a key role that actually did affect the universe in Mass Effect 2. The more minerals you mine for the Alliance, the more cash you start off when you imported the character. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I thought you knew that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that actually did have an effect.
Ow, wow, I didn't know that. That provided a better boost to start off to make the game easier, because I play on insanity, motherfuckers.
I actually know. I could have sworn I talked to you about that, because I use the same thing here, even if you're going to trash me later on in this listener mail, because I've already read it. I'm a perfectionist in games too. Gunny can attest to this, and I collected every single thing, explored every fucking inch of Mass Effect 1. My quip basically saying that I wasn't a big fan of the exploration didn't mean I didn't do it. I did all of it.
He continues, I understand disliking something because it's tedious, but it's minor details like that within games that make me fall in love with it. That said, I don't mind the exploration in Mass Effect 2 or Mass Effect 3. It was just a different experience. He continues, as for character development, I suppose it comes down to personal taste, so I can't really flip the fuck out on you guys on that. I love Mass Effect 1, the bonds you build with characters such as Rex. Ashley, love that ass. Sorry, Caden.
I always elected to let Ashley die.
Yeah,
always,
I do too.
Always.
I do too.
I prefer Caden because
no.
Caden's down to earth, and Ashley's a fucking bitch.
The first time I played it, I believe I killed Ashley, and the second time I just killed Caden just to see what it was like to have Ashley. Anyway, he continues. And Liara played huge pivotal roles in the game, such as Mass Effect 3.
Yeah.
For example, if you don't build trust with Rex in Mass Effect 1 and end up killing him on Vermeer, his half-brother fuckface turtle dude becomes the default leader of the Krogan, and he's kind of an idiot. If you choose to sabotage the Shroud, he will never tell the difference that the genophage was not cured, or so you receive both Krogan and Solarian forces to help you take back Earth. He's talking about Mass Effect 3.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if you save Rex and you tried to pull the same stunt, he finds out and you end up killing him, and in the end you lose out on both Solarian and Krogan fleets. It's fucking beautiful, and it all starts with the foundation established in Mass Effect 1. You can find many examples of this from character introduced in Mass Effect 1 as well as Mass Effect 2. So please don't bash Mass Effect 1 without taking a closer look at each character's role throughout the series. Did we bash Mass Effect 1?
You liked Mass Effect 1. I said that it wasn't my favorite. I said, yeah, I don't feel that I bashed it, though. I think I said I preferred the characters in Mass Effect 2, and I think that's where he's coming from. It's not so much that I didn't see the usefulness of characters in Mass Effect 1. I saw those ones, and I understand where he's coming from here, definitely. My thing was I preferred the character archetypes, so to speak, that were presented in number 2. I felt that they were better characters, in my opinion.
Yeah. Alright, he continues. For favorite characters, can't bash either of you there, except for forgetting Legion's name as well as Grunt's. I was literally flipping the fuck out in my cubicle at work when I heard you two bastards dancing around that subject. You cannot accurately critique a game if you don't even know the major characters and what role they played in. You know you guys can save both Geth and Quarians, right? For fuck's sake, not touching that one. I didn't know that.
I did like both of your takes on the Rannoch mission, though. It was beautifully written by BioWare, regardless of the ending you chose. One thing I will say, though, in reference to that, keep in mind, and Yeast is probably going to get mad at us for even talking about it here, we talked about it because it was the weekly thing on Kotaku. Remember, it was their whole thing. It was their Mass Effect thing.
Mass Effect week.
Yeah, and so we decided to touch on it there. Last time I played Mass Effect 3 was when it came out.
As did I.
As did Gunny here. So that's why we were...
That's about a year ago, actually.
we needed a refresher.
That was a year ago.
We needed a refresher. I understand, Yeezus, you're going to go on to talk here about how you played it so much and everything, and I thank you for that. It's just not one of those games that I've played through all the time. So I apologize for not remembering a name.
He continues, love fucking up that Reaper, too. Little bitch-ass motherfucker. I killed you with a laser target. They put lasers on pins nowadays. I killed you with an object that probably cost 35 cents, pussy. This is getting kind of long, so I'll wrap it up.
And then it continues on for another, page and a half.
Yeah, look at this.
This is right, it's longer than the first
It's
half.
longer than the first part.
Can't argue with your favorite moments as well. They were terrific. My favorite had to be the ending of Mass Effect 3, though. It was years in the building. I had 3 characters I used in my series, from Mass Effect 1 to Mass Effect 3. Keep in mind, I beat Mass Effect 1 with 8 different characters. Jesus Christ. I chose to take 3 along with me for the ride.
He's like I am with Skyrim or Fallout. The exact same. We'll talk about those series, and you'll see my in-depth look at things. I didn't so much have it with Mass Effect.
I chose to take 3 along with me for the ride that was Mass Effect Trilogy, better to capture every storyline. From a renegade brutal soldier that was loyal to Ashley for the whole game, to a Baragon Vanguard war hero whose only flaw was being a womanizer. Well, let's be real, that's no flaw. Boobies. To an infiltrator that lost his family, his original fucking unit. Fucking love the backstories you can use. The squad mates and crew members throughout the 3 games. You can hear the whispers of every character that dies during your Nightmare cinematic in Mass Effect 3, right? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did. That I did know. You didn't catch that?
I did not.
Did you not listen to the whispers?
I didn't know there were whispers at all.
Are you fucking deaf?
I'm not deaf. I didn't hear it.
Okay.
He doesn't remember it.
It's awesome. Fucking love it. I covered every path that I could possibly take in Mass Effect. I was truly stoked to see the conclusion to each of these storylines, and then the original ending came out.
He's quoting me here.
Anyone who thinks the Mass Effect ending was bad does not play an RPG correctly. Burnt bread. He's quoting
first
someone.
off, I'd like to... He's quoting me. Burnt bread, toast.
Are you sure? Okay, maybe.
No, he is. I said that.
maybe.
I said that on air.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe I shouldn't critique anything with you anymore. You
No,
have the memory of a
it's
fucking
burnt bread. I
wolf.
didn't know he was quoting you when he said burnt bread. I was quoting someone else.
People are referring to me as Toast. I have multiple people that call me burnt bread, actually.
Anyway, well, that's a punch in my testicles, or a punt, depends on what kind of sport you play, I guess. If you're Spartan BH, it's a hockey play slowing over the center of your sack, then rising and falling repeatedly until you're just begging for someone to put a bullet in you and end the torment.
I didn't mean for it to be that low of a blow, Jesus. It was just my normal, vehement... I don't even know what you want to call it. It was just my normal
That's why I
ranting.
called you burnt bread. He's mad at you.
Yeah,
anyway,
he is.
the biggest flaw I had with the original Mass Effect ending was its diversion from official canon. Toast, I know that bothers you when games stay away from what they are, so here's what I dislike the ending. Hear me out, I'll get to it in a second. First off, I'm actually fine with the choices for the most part. However, it felt rushed, like EA was holding a harpoon to gun BioWare's butthole.
And hassling them to hurry up and finish the game. To refresh your memory, the original 3 choices were control the Reapers, destroy the Reapers, and combine synthetic and organic life to bring about a new dawn to life in the universe as we know it.
Controlling the Reapers always seemed wrong to me. See the indoctrination theory, he has a link here. But it was the player's choice to make, and I would fight to the death and defend your right to make that choice. Destroying the Reapers made more sense. It has been your goal for years to end a threat for extinction. The best way to end that threat is to wipe it out. The final choice was melding the two sentient life forms to create a new one. Another option I'm okay with. What I'm not okay with was a lack of failure. What if I did not want to make the choices listed? What if the alliances I created, species I enlisted, and interactions I made throughout in 3 games was not enough to turn the tide, and everyone fucking died in a glorious last stand sprinkled in Greek tragedy? That really disappointed me in the original ending. Thankfully, BioWare added this in with the new ending a few months after the game was released, so they are okay in my book.
Here's something that I will state. When we were critiquing the endings, the reason why I didn't take that into account is because that's something that I actually have a problem with in all video games. All video games, you are the hero. You have sperm of Zeus in your veins. You can do anything ever, and you never fail.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's not the problem with RPGs alone, but with most video games. Like, people have gotten into the habit of assuming
winning.
that they're fucking God.
Winning,
And
yeah.
Exactly.
Like, just being the main center of attention,
Exactly.
especially with the whole mentality that Call of Duty is given to players and everything, the idea of I can do everything I want to and I can fucking kill anyone I choose. Stay out of my scope. You're dead within 3 seconds. People have the idea that you can do anything you want because you're playing the video game. And I think in RPGs, at least, ones that are true to the concept of a role-playing game, they're playing a role.
I should be able to choose a grunt.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to be the main guy. It's a role-playing game. I should have more roles options.
You assume the role. You don't play. You don't have to play fucking Jesus Christ himself.
Yeah.
You play a role in the universe. A universe.
And
that
also, I'd like to
develops
see,
you
and so one of the reasons, as you can see, this is why I didn't originally touch on that at all, is because the kind of conversation that this automatically breeds about video games in general. So before we end up turning this into a 2-hour rant, because that's what it'll become, I know Gunny wants to focus
Let's
in.
move
I will
on,
make one last comment and say, here's another thing that I want your guys' opinion on. I feel that every character should have flaws in RPGs. I don't like the fact that you seem to be perfect people. Mm-hmm. You never, ever have inherent flaws that affect you in terms of gameplay.
Yeah.
In terms of, I think there are some very little that touch on getting addicted to alcohol, getting addicted to stuff like that. But it doesn't.
But that's not the same.
Yeah,
though, you know what I
it doesn't
mean?
affect the story. It doesn't affect your interaction with other characters. I think that's
It affects your stats for a while.
Yeah, that's it. That's really just it. So I mean,
Anyway, let's move on. And he continues. However, most of these endings consisted of having the master relays blow the fuck up. Not sure if you two were aware, but in Mass Effect DLC Arrival, if you blow up a relay, you fucking fuck over the fuck out of the star system it's in. As in, everything blows up from a catastrophic supernova. Therefore, while Shepard is ending the Reaper threat, he's destroying 99% of the galaxy's sentient species. While I like the entertain the thought.
To entertain the thought.
that this gives the new species that eventually evolve into chance to choose their own path, a path humans, Krogan, Tyrian, Asaria, Prothean, etc. never got to follow. BioWare never showed or delved into this.
Delved.
Yeah, you can't say delved. This is one of an earlier show. He always wants to put a W in there instinctively.
A simple cinematic was all I'm asking for, even if even if it's all text like in Dragon Age 1. That was the biggest complaint. Even it showed all the fleets around Earth chilling out like the Mass Effect being destroyed didn't affect them. Bullshit. How the Normandy broke rank and managed to beat the Color Waves of Doom. The Color Waves of Doom also bothered me. Whatever. Fucking Stargazer in the end with the kid was one of the assholes that landed on the moon in real life. Just thought you guys should know that. Random thought. It's after the credits. My rage might just come from years of dedication to a series that I thought messed up the final 10 seconds of the game. Regardless, I still love it. I recommend buying all the DLC because it explains the Reaper's origins as well as other stuff. Another compliment I had...
Complaint, not compliment.
Complaint that I had...
The exact opposite.
The complaint I had that I thought the ending lacked. Anyways, I shall listen to your rebuttal, but I won't write another Mass Effect letter. We can leave it as a gentleman's disagreement. I like the podcast. Keep up the good work. Oh, by the way, there are spoilers in this email. Fuck your listeners. And he also gave us codes.
He gave us codes.
A lot of codes.
A lot of codes.
Thank you,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 codes. Good on you, Yeeses. In terms of full-on rebuttals, I have to agree with most of what you said. Gunny's going to take a little break here while I hit the next listener mail.
Reading that killed my throat for some reason.
Yeah, now you know how I feel when I read Bubba's. That apparently killed his throat to read that much. Did a great job. He's just tiring him out. In terms of full-on rebuttals, I think considering that I was the most angry in the whole ranting thing, I'll give you my little rebuttal here and say I agree with 99% of what you said. I mean, I feel that maybe you might have taken a couple things that I said incorrectly, and I will say that's probably because of the way in which I stated it. I have that problem a lot. But no, I agree with quite a lot of what you said. Like I said, keep in mind, go ahead and bash us if you'd like, but we were critiquing a game that we hadn't played in about a year, so that happens. Guys, we're going to go ahead and continue now into a guy named Adrian. Mr. the Adrian, he is our resident Norwegian.
I'm back.
Originally, and Gunny is back with a message that begins by saying forwarded enchiladas. And it begins with sent wrong at first. He apparently sent the wrong email to the wrong fucking address. And he just forwarded.
Someone's just like, what the fuck is this?
I don't even know who he sent it to. A Forerunner Conflict at yahoo.com. He didn't have the podcast in there. And he wants me to shout the capped shiz. I don't know why he wrote it like this.
What?
Yo, what up, Toasterino, Balbino, and Gunnerino, Chicorino? It is me, the shiz of the shizinos, Adrian! Asteroid or MT motherfucking! Hey! Did you lads see the live stream? If you don't know what stream I'm bubbling about, you're as dumb as my three-eyed space whale engineer cat who actually liked Prometheus, the movie, and Dog of Duty retarded space monkeys.
My high.
I am dying right now. Dog of Duty, that's what we need to call it now. Because get the new Call of Duty series that has a dog.
Cock of Duty, modern gay fuck shit.
He continues, I'm tipping about Xbox motherfucking Uno. What you like about it? I'm putting emphasis, if it sounds weird, exactly how he did. Only thing I found positive behind my glasses was the new console design. Everything else was meh. Especially Halo TV series, They Be Milkin' and Dog of Duty, retarded space monkeys. Back to normal English. I've been having a quite occupied schedule due to midterms and a religious event. Do you Americans call it confirmation? Yeah, we do. Which both were placed perfectly. Hashtag sarcasm. I got about $350 from the celebration. Pause. I'm pausing right now. He sends a later listener mail entitled, dollars, in which he says he meant $3,500.
Well, fuck.
Which that's a much bigger difference.
Fuck.
Continuing from the celebration, I think I'm going to spend it on a new PC. My current one can barely run fcwars.net, or maybe even Xbox ends. I had a midterm in English today, 21st, and one of the tasks I got was to write about my favorite heroes, whether they were fictional or not. I wrote about Master Chief and Scott Pilgrim. Read the graphic novels, fools. I already have. I've played the game. I've watched the movie. I have the soundtrack. And I feel pretty confident about getting an A as I do every year. Anyways, I got something to say. You guys out there in the FC Wars community, play Terraria or Rage with me.
Yes, I love Terraria.
With me, I have nobody to play with them with, especially Terraria. My gamer tag is Mr. the Flippin' Adrian. I'm gonna correct that right now. It's Mr. the Adrian. There's no flippin' in it. There's no spaces either. He continues, by the way, Senj Piso Bread, win, tie, loss. No! Wrong! Wrong! Look in the FC stat book, even it's win, loss, tie. Look in football, it's win, loss, tie. Look in baseball, it's win, loss, tie. Everywhere it is win, loss, tie, because ties are so uncommon that there's no reason to put them in between a win and a loss. Now that that's out of the way, he said some other stuff that was in German that my pronunciation isn't good enough and I'm gonna butcher it and I don't want to. And then he continues with PCLT. However, he is not done. because the way in which T is, he decided that he was going to continue. And he says, oh my god, in another piece saying, entitled Stuff That I Forgot to Mention, oh my god, there's a new DLC for my previous mail, and it's called Stuff That I Forgot. It only costs 800 Microsoft points. Wink, hint, hint. If you keep sending in good listener mail, your name is definitely going to be in the drawing. That's all
I love
I'm gonna
you.
say. And he says, I figured this out myself. You know how 7's Bungie's favorite number? Well, if you do 7 times 7, you get 49. Do 49 times 7, you get your mind somewhat blown. I'm not going to continue with that. Oh, come on. Think about it. 7 cubed is 343. Mind blown! He continues. Also, Gunny, what the fuck? Gen 2 for the win. Fucking Totodile.
Whoa! I'm getting to it. I'm almost done with Fire Red.
I want you to play original, though. I don't want you to play Heart Gold and Soul Silver, because they added stuff and it's not the same experience. Trust me, it's not.
You don't even have to do that. Just play Crystal, so then you at least get like a...
Play the special version.
Yeah,
just play Crystal.
always play the special
Anyway,
version.
continue. Here's a list of my favorite Pokemon per gen. Gen 1, Kadabra. I've never traded anything ever, so yep. And Poliwag. Yeah, stop laughing.
Oh, you never got to experience Alakazam?
Who had the fucking highest special attack
He is
rating
fucking
of any-
insane when it comes
He's
to
a
like
tank.
using
Oh my God. I didn't think about it. He's not even a
moves.
tank. He's a fucking berserker. He's nuts.
I know fucking Sabrina's Alakazam raped me.
Yup.
In the ass.
Gen
everyone.
2, Toto Vagina in Spanish dial.
What?
What?
AKA Donald Duck if you hashtag anime. In the anime, he did sound like Donald Duck.
He does! Like the fucking quacking sounds. Like, I never understood how it doesn't sync up with the games.
Gen 3, slacking? Meh. Slacking is a fucking tank. Slacking is one of those fucking OP Pokemon. I'm sorry. but
The
he
way I
is.
see Slacking is like he's that middle-aged angry father that everyone had like growing up. That like he lays on the couch the entire fucking day watching the games, but the minute you whisper like this
Fucking
tiny
bitch
system,
slap.
he gets up,
Hi,
gets
Daddy.
his fucking fist up to you, smash you right through the fucking wall, and just goes back to his game. That's Slacking to me.
You guys haven't noticed, by the way, Papa Big Dick here has a really bad problem with volume control. If it sounds like he's shouting at you, it's because he is.
It's out of love.
Sorry,
Gen
guys.
3? Well, I'd actually say that Gen 3 I personally liked. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to get into that. We're going to end up talking too much. Yeah. Gen 4, Turtwig. Everyone else sucked gay Swiss Euro dance artist dick. Hashtag DJ Bobo.
DJ Bobo.
I actually know who that is. Gen 5, Nope laughs. Gen 6, gay Eevee. Hashtag Nope. Writes a letter to Game Freak. Spelt in elite. He continues, also, I want to mention that I'm a little Filipino, so bring in Papa Big Dick more.
Oh, well,
Love you.
hi.
He's fucking Filipino and Norwegian and lives in Norway.
That sounds... Well, actually, that doesn't surprise me. Fucking Filipinos are everywhere you
No,
would
I know
expect
they're
them,
everywhere. I'm not even saying that they're not. I'm just saying, like, you know, it's kind of cool. Segment / suggestion, Torture Gunny with Nicki Minaj music for not... music, in quotes, for not having played Gen 2. By the way, although I will say I'm not a big fan of her music, I have to respect Nicki Minaj as an artist, and here's the reason why. She freestyles all of her raps.
Really?
None of those are planned out. None of those are written beforehand. She just comes into the studio and she records it right off the top of her head.
I love her on the Kanye West album. Anyway, move on.
Monster
My beautiful, dark, twisted fantasy.
Monster was pretty good. She had a good time.
Yeah, that was actually, I have to respect her as an artist for that, because that does take skill. And he continues, by the way, what I meant by newer music was undepthful music and money music, and we actually addressed that when he said that he didn't like newer music. We agree there's newer music out there, you just have to find it that's good. We, for the most part, also agree undepthful music and money music is crap. I don't like cookie cutter music at all. I don't like cookie cutter games. I don't like cookie cutter movie. If it's made for music, or if it's made for money, I have a problem with it, especially if it's art.
A very good example of money music would be Lil Wayne's group. What is it called? Himself Cash Money?
No,
His
it's
group?
YMCMD. That's
Yeah,
it.
it's exactly.
YMCMD. Not just that, but just...
Although I would say that it tends to be money music, I actually have my own little guilty pleasure of Katy Perry.
Kid Party.
Katy Perry. For some reason, guys, maybe you guys can point this out. I find her incredibly attractive, and I don't know why. She's not particularly attractive.
Is it just her, or the people that look like her? Like people like Zoe Deschanel?
Yes, like it's everybody that looks like her.
Because I think I understand where you're coming from.
Like, guys, definitely write this in. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Girls, even write in and let me know what you're thinking if any of the few women that we have in the community listen to this. I don't know what it is, but there's something oddly attractive about her.
Honestly, I think it's because their face looks kind of mousy. Like
I don't even know. But we're going to go ahead and continue. Eli, we're going to go ahead and let you read this next one. Switch it off.
All right. This is from the titled "Hello Dynamic Duo." This is from Ominous Solus, a new listener. He actually sent me a PM on the forum telling me how much he liked the podcast, and also we want to make sure we got the listener mail. Well, we have the listener mail right here in front of us. It is titled "Hello Dynamic Duo." Hey guys, I love the podcast. I'm relatively new to FC. I know that this is a great place just by how everyone is. Welcome. So I would like to thank everyone that got this started up and the ones that keep it going.
Us too. With help from Myth. No. I don't even mean to say that, because Myth does a lot for us, actually, believe it or not. And Kaz made our logo.
Yeah. Anyways, I have listened to every podcast since I joined. Thank you for the support. And I'm sorry to break the chain, but I listen to them on Wednesday when I'm at the office. I don't mind.
That's fine by us. You have all week to listen to them. We don't mind.
Anyway. As I'm talking about this, Toast can start hitting because I listen to this on YouTube. Even if he doesn't like it. Well, I'll make up for this later.
Here's what I will say. I don't hate on the people who listen to YouTube. My problem with YouTube is you don't get to hear the cooler stuff that we put in. You guys can argue that it's nothing that big. We actually get to use non-copyrighted or copyrighted material, so that means better breaks, in my opinion. Listen to it on YouTube. You've probably already figured it out by now. It's the same fucking rehash shit.
Just make sure everyone knows, the reason we don't have copyrighted stuff on YouTube is Myth likes to monetize the videos on the YouTube account.
Monetized. He tried it non-monetized even, and so
it'll block you. It'll block you.
It does not like the fact that we have our own intro and stuff like that. So
anyway, he continues. Anyways, I would like to ask Toast a question.
Ooh. During
the last podcast, episode 9, you were saying that there shouldn't ever be any moves based off a video game. So, to my question, what do you think about the upcoming Halo TV series that 343 announced along with the Xbox One reveal? And what do you think about the Xbox One not being compatible with our generation's headset?
You never said that they shouldn't make one. I mean,
I said that at the beginning, and I was just kind of saying it very just like this. I was calling bullshit.
Yeah.
If you remember towards the end of it, I actually said I was fine with anything being done cinematically with the series, as long as it wasn't redoing something that was already canon. As long as it was adding to the canon. A great example of that is Forward Unto Dawn.
Yes.
A great example of that is the AC shorts that had come out, the Embers and Lineage, and stuff like that. That I'm okay with because you're adding on to the canon. Now, if you're going to make something that's going to redo something, now I have a problem. If you're going to make an AC1 movie, I have a problem because we already have that set in canon, and the way in which the movie is already, or the game is already structured, by breaking the fourth wall and coming out and putting the audience in the seat, you have so much more.
Yeah.
So by rehashing that, you have a problem. If they're going to add on, I'm okay with that. The Halo TV series, I don't know too much about it yet. I'm assuming they're just adding on. It'll be extra stuff.
I don't know much about it either, but I am weary just because stuff.
I'm definitely weary. I'm always weary when I hear about it. But the way that I'll put it this way. Say, for example, they make a TV series that has to do with a team similar to the teams that we've been seeing in Spartan Ops. And they track them through the progression of the wars and the aftermath and that kind of stuff. I'm okay with that. You try to redo Chief's story in a series, I have a problem.
I think they're personally going to build on what they did in Forerunner Dawn, follow Marines, and have Spartans make special cameos.
That would be fine.
Yeah.
I'm totally cool with that.
Steven Spielberg is behind it, which he's awesome. So I have trust that he'll do something. I'm just weary about it.
Except for the fact that him and Lucas raped Indiana Jones. Bend him over. By the way, Gunny hasn't seen any of the Indiana Jones movies. Send in your hate mail. I'm fucking pissed at him.
The only thing I've ever seen is the Boulder scene. Anyway.
Well, I mean, at least he hasn't seen the fourth one. So, I mean, that's...
The fourth one's
like, if you've never seen any of the original and only saw the fourth one, fuck you. Just go fuck yourself. Really...
I will chime in on your second question about the Xbox One not being compatible with our current generation headset. I'm not surprised. I didn't expect it anyway. That's why I didn't buy a very expensive headset. I just got this cheap $20 Turtle Beach I found. Just the build to get me through until fall. I expect that. I don't know why anyone's surprised by that anyway. Are you really surprised?
I'm not surprised. I've been putting off getting a decent pair just because I knew that the newer ones were coming up. Also, I want to do a quick little thing right here. The opinions and ideas expressed by Papa Big Dick do not represent Forerunner Conflict, FCWars.net, or the Forerunner Conflict podcast team in any way, shape, or form.
Why do you say that?
Because he told people to go fuck themselves.
Sorry.
He loves you.
He can say whatever he wants. I don't care. I'm all about free speech. I'm just letting you know this does not reflect the opinions of FCWars.net or the Forerunner Conflict podcast team at all.
I love you guys, though.
He continues on. Anyway, I would also like to say that I appreciate what you guys are doing, so thank you very, very much. Aw, thank you. We appreciate it. Anyways, about making it up to Toast. Well, no, I am just going to do this to give to the community. Here's a code for a 3-month gold membership.
It's not about me. It's just doing it for the community. I thank you for that. It's a 3-month gold membership.
Yes.
That is the longest code we're going to have possession of in terms of length of time. I feel weary about giving that to somebody. If somebody needs it, okay, but you better give me a damn good reason as to why we need to support you for 3 months. No offense, just... We're not trying to make this like a welfare check where we give out stuff every month. It's on a need basis.
I think we'll kind of keep that in the back, and if someone really, really needs it, they're going through a tough time, then we'll give it to them.
If not, what I'm thinking about doing is we might use it as a prize for the end of the season raffle. There will be a raffle at the end of every season.
An example. Well, don't say that because it might not happen. Anyway,
No, I am going to say that. I'm going to make it happen. My word. Hold me to it.
But another example of where that 3-1 would come in handy, where you have Raz who's in a tough situation, where you run out of money, and that 3-1 would come there. It'll be for special cases.
Like when we pitched in to help him, like when the community raised money for him, that kind of stuff. But I mean, you'd have to be...
for special cases.
It would have to be significant. You'd have to be an important person. Not trying that we're trying to shit on the little people.
Yeah.
Just, I think you guys understand why. This is a massive thing to give out.
Okay. It says, thank you for your time, guys. I'm going to sell us PS Go Blue.
All right, jumping back now to my boy Rip Helix. He goes, "Yo, it's Helix." He goes, "So I'm sure you guys are probably going to talk about this anyway, but how did you and Gunny, even Papa Big Dick if he's still there with you when you do the mail, feel about the next box reveal?" Already did a show about it. Whole show.
Yeah, the Xbox One. But just a Papa Big Dick. What was your opinion on the Xbox One?
My opinion. See, the problem was like I came in halfway through, like to the past the 30-minute mark. However, from what I've read from the internet and everything, I didn't really miss much. Anyways. But to be completely honest, like, a lot of it didn't surprise me. I knew that there would be a lot of, like, you know, they'd be doing a lot of jumps, you know, kind of taking the whole, like, taking people off guard, you know. Yeah. But I think the only complaint I have is that, correct me if I'm wrong, but the whole connecting, like, always on connection, that one kind of...
doesn't apply anymore. They shut that down. It's not always on.
Really? When did they... Okay, well...
It's not always on, but they're going to have constant updates, so they want you to sign in daily, but it's not always on.
Okay, well...
However, you do have to have your Connect plugged in to have it work.
Uh-huh.
So you have to unplug it if you want it to not work, because the other thing is, while it's plugged in, it's listening to you all the time.
And that's always fun, really. I love that.
People actually mentioned later they weren't thinking HAL as much as they were thinking 1984, and I have to agree with you. It's total fucking screens in the house is what it's going to become.
The whole you know, scanning the room and identifying people that aren't recognized, you know, that also puts me on edge. I think PS3 might do something like that, or I don't know. I guess we'll see until the reveal. But the one that really pissed me off was the Call of Duty one. The Call of Duty reveal saying, "We have the greatest next-gen graphics," when it's like, fucking Crysis had that 5 years ago.
Our AI fish will affect you. Mario 64, motherfucker.
We have the greatest lighting graphics ever. Fucking sun coming in one way and then sunlight coming out the other way. It's a fucking mess, like the entire production. I'm just really disappointed, like, You guys fucked with us last E3 with the whole Black Ops 2 reveal.
They have a dog, though.
There's a dog!
There's a dog!
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice.
Go fuck yourself.
Fuck you, Microsoft.
Doggy duty ghosts.
Anyway, continuing, he goes, "First, Xbox One? Really, Microsoft? I understand they want it to be an all-in-one system, but they could have picked a better name. I'm still calling it the 720. That's my boy! That's my boy! Hooah! Hooah!" And he goes, "Either way, the name isn't really a priority at this point, other than the other features looks pretty sweet." He goes, "Speaking of all-in-one systems, I have to say I'm not a big fan of Microsoft turning the Xbox One into an all-out entertainment system." Hey, we'll get to this one. He goes, "They even market the 360 that way now and did it with the 720 in the reveal. It's like the Xbox is no longer a gaming console." Yeah, sure, it's nice and convenient to be able to stream your music and movies, all the happy horse shit, all in one dashboard, but the whole reason I invested in getting an Xbox in the first place, even from day one with the original Xbox, was to game. Also, Halo. That was a huge contributing factor, but I digress. Before I let Papa Big Dick unleash on this, okay. I have mentioned this before, I'm not a big fan of it. I was even talking to Gunny. I'd like one that you could buy that's just a gaming console. Because I'm not going to use it, I would love it at a reduced price or something that doesn't even have the extra stuff, because I don't want it. I'm not going to use it. My argument is, that's cool. It can now run Skype. Yeah, I also have my phone that can do that, my iPod that can do that, my laptop that can do that. Oh, it can play music. My phone can do that, my iPod can do that, my computer can do... I have so many fucking devices in my house right now that can do everything in the world. I don't need it on my gaming console. I don't need it. I don't want it. And to be honest, I'm never going to use it. According to Gunny, I'm in the minority for that. Guys, go ahead and let us know in the listener mail if I'm the minority in the fact that I'm not going to use all those little gadgets and all the little
Netflix
apps.
And HBO and all that stuff.
Yeah. But to be honest, I have so many other devices that can stream it and can do the same thing that I don't have a problem. And the other thing is, people are like, you can stream Netflix to your thing. Yeah, you can also stream your computer screen to your Xbox. And your computer screen can have Netflix up. So to be honest, you don't even really fucking need the app if you're so lazy that you can't even set that up real quick. Really? Anyway, I digress. Go ahead, Papa Big Dick.
Okay, well, Helix, I'm really fucking glad you brought this up, because I mean, this is one of the things I had like in mind when I saw the reveal, was that it just feels like they're leaving the gamers behind. You know, it's gotten to the point where we want to entertain the public, we're forgetting
They're
about
entertaining families with little kids
Yeah.
instead of entertaining the actual gamers who a gaming console should focus on, in my opinion.
They're not focusing on little kids. No, that's not what they're focusing on. That's what the Wii U and everything is focusing on. What they're focusing on is they want their console to be both the gaming console and entertainment console.
And
They
I'm
don't. Well, they
saying
want you to do
necessary.
everything on it.
And I'm saying
which
it's
is
not
with the
necessary.
TV thing.
Like, no, we even saw that Kotaku article today. They're offering fucking achievements for watching TV on your fucking Xbox. Are you fucking serious?
See, here
Are you fucking serious? I already have a problem with the fact that every time you turn on a goddamn game, 5 minutes into the game, you've already got 4 fucking achievements. I'm sorry. Back in the day, achievements fucking meant something. But what the fuck ever?
Fucking Nintendo would send you things too, like in the mail, like, good job, you beat this fucking achievement, we send you a patch. Like, I miss those days.
Yeah, like they actually fucking meant something. And now you get them for fucking everything under the goddamn sun. You're apparently going to get them for watching TV on your goddamn console. Are you fucking kidding me?
Here's the thing I have, like, if they do make it an entertaining console, like, include that, that's fine. But don't fucking showcase it. Like, it's the only fucking thing that matters. Like, it's the only thing you should look forward for the Xbox One. We can show fucking Netflix and you can stream, get pizza and shit and Skype. You can show that. You can, like, you know,
You can work it in.
Yeah.
But don't make it a focus. And I feel, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys correct me if I'm wrong in your listener mail. I felt that they focused on the entertainment instead of focusing on the gaming console.
That's my exact point.
That was their goal for the reveal. They even said that was their goal for the reveal. They're going to focus on the games at E3, the gaming conference. But they focused on the entertainment stuff when they revealed it, and they also did hardware.
And I understand that, but my other thing is, I personally don't care, and I don't think the gamers care. If I am in the minority, let me know. Tell me to shut the fuck up if you'd like. I don't mind. But I feel that what we're starting to do is we're moving more towards we're leaving the gamers behind in the gaming industry, and that I don't like.
I don't mind it. It's whatever. Put more into a console. I mean, I don't use all of it, of course.
I don't need a fucking... Okay, actually, you know what? It's going to be talked about in a later podcast, or in one of the listener mails. It was brought up. I can't remember. I don't know which one of us is going to read it because the way in which we do this. But they actually bring up a very good comparison between the entertainment systems and the way the game community is. So we'll go ahead and save it for that, because that comment sums it up for me, at least. Helix continues and he goes, I'm definitely happy that the always-on myths have been dispelled, however. So, good on that. Even though I'm flat broke these days and probably won't even be able to get the new Xbox a few years until after it comes out. Insert uber sad face here. Also, I'm slightly disappointed in the way they ended the reveal, but I guess we'll see more at E3. Can't wait for that. And Infinity Ward, the poor fools. Talking about learning in destructible environments like they pioneered it. That stuff's been in PC games for how long?
It's fucking been in Battlefield for how long?
Thank you. Yes, so we're not the only ones who realize that restores a bit of my faith in humanity.
I hope we weren't the only ones.
He goes, anyways, I guess that's all I got for now.
Battlefield
So how do you guys
destroy
feel about
fucking
it?
buildings? Come on.
So how do you guys feel about it? Any strengths or weaknesses you feel have versus the competitors and the like? Any concerns otherwise? Let us all know. Had a whole show about it. Go ahead and check that out. Talk to you guys next week. That's it if I don't come up with some other nonsense to write about. And the next piece of listener mail comes from Jumanji, another new listener.
Yes, Jumanji, and his email is titled ATD Rant, kind of. Once again, another great podcast. You are the shit. First off, Gunny, you need to finish the Assassin's Creed series already. I'm getting there. I'm still in the early parts of Brotherhood. Anyway, I want to hear Toast rants about the AC series. Second, Toast, where the hell is the doctrine of the Church of Toast?
I'll get to it. I just got done with school stuff. Give me a fucking break. It takes a long time to write doctrine, okay? I have to wait for the almighty breakfast combo to bestow the doctrine upon me. This is not the work of man. This is the work of the divine.
And then Essus.
Isis. He means Isis. No idea how to spell it. He says right there.
Yeah, okay. It's spelled like Jesus with an H. Anyway, and an H. 2 H's.
And a Y.
And a Y. Anyway, where's your Mass Effect rant? Well, you just heard
You
it.
just got it.
I want to hear your arguments picked into tiny pieces and crushed.
No, nothing crushed. He has a lot of good points. I totally respect all of them.
Now to the ADD rant-ish thing. I'm not completely opposed to the ideas of movies that based off video games, as long as they are done right. I feel a good example of this is the first 3 Resident Evil movies. After they start to go to shit. After that, they go to shit. The last one that came out was the biggest piece of bullshit I've ever seen. Fuck that movie. Another one done right was, as you mentioned, the Forerunner miniseries. I watch that almost every other day. No joke. Also, if someone is going to make an animated movie based off a video game, they need to use better animation, because the animated movies I've seen so far suck dick and are painful to watch just because it's such shitty animation. You guys mentioned how the game industry is so revolved around money, which it is, but the gaming industry as a whole is an industry powered by greed. Half the sequels and other series that come out are purely to make more money. It's sad to see. On this note, Microsoft has gone too far. With the Xbox One, they are making it so you can't borrow games from your friends. If they bring a game over, you can play it on their account. But if you want to play it on yours, you have to pay full price for the game. That is total fucking bullshit. Fuck that. And overall, I wasn't impressed with the Xbox One. Most likely, we'll be sticking to 360 for a very long time. I'm guessing this is a bit tricky to read, but my ADD has gone through the roof, and focus is not an option, so hopefully this isn't too bad. You guys need to do a show on video game conspiracies. It would be awesome.
Ooh.
Oh, and one last Pokemon-related note. Mewtwo has a fucking dick tail.
Exactly, thank you!
If you look, it starts where his dick would be, and just wraps behind him, and it doesn't connect anywhere to the back, so yeah, dick tail. And Toast. When people report win-loss tie ratios, they report a win-tie loss. But when they say it, you say win-loss tie.
So he's talking about you say it win-loss tie
Yeah.
when you're reporting it,
Okay.
but in terms of the written down, it's win-tie loss.
Okay.
Again, I've never seen win-tie loss anywhere until it was brought up to me. I'm going to stick with the win-loss tie.
And then looking forward to the next podcast, Jumanji.
And I agree. I have another person who apparently agrees with me in terms of the game industry. Like I've said, I find it sad because I don't feel that an art industry should be reduced to greed. I have a personal problem with it. And our last listener mail for the night, guys, like we said, we devoted this whole podcast to it, comes from Bubba Bishop, one of probably our biggest fans. And he starts, Bubba Speaks, frustrating other listeners. And he actually has an image. Oh, I had to unblock it. Anyway, he goes, Dear everyone, including Papa Big Dick.
Oh, I'm included.
I meant no offense by excluding Papa Big Dick from my greeting last week. I just didn't expect him to return, so I was addressing the people I thought would be there. Sorry, Papa, you're cool.
Thank you.
He continues,
No,
that out of the way.
No harm intended.
That out of the way, I will treat you all in an absolutely massive letter as I get 2 episodes of the podcast to reply to. Take a goddamn seat. Gunny, Toast is always right. It goes win-loss tie. Thank you, my zealot follower. I want you to know that I respect you and you will be getting nice things one day coming your way. FC Roundtable, including Papa Big Dick, is a good name, and this episode's discussion sums up everything I've ever thought about video game movies. AC is going to be further butchered by the movie they make because you know it's going to suck. Don't even hold on to any hope. It will be tolerable. An AC movie will lower my faith in humanity more than anything else could.
Never forget Santa's
Wait,
time.
and then he continues, besides a fucking Angry Birds movie. I'm done. I'm just done. Toast, please awaken me from stasis when this shit is over. My brother, I will. I have a problem as well. I can't believe they're making a movie on. I don't know. What is there to make a movie on? I
don't know.
Those fucking pigs.
Again, I feel like after Prince of Persia, it's always just downhill
Yeah.
from there.
And it continues, Portal and Half-Life were too cinematic to really be made into movies. I'd agree if they're going to remake the story. If it was adding to the canon, that's one thing, but remaking is a problem. They told their stories as well as any movie could. Their movie would be redundant, and Toast, you really ran the no Half-Life 3 joke. Not just into the ground, but through the cross-mantle core and into the pits of hell where even Satan was thinking, again? Look, I'm just sorry, it's not my fault, but considering that you've gone through multiple paragraphs here, at least you can count to 3 and Valve can't. Continuing, he goes, really with the MC Dick joke? Anyways, I have to agree that Forward Unto Dawn is the only really acceptable video game movie, in quotes. He continues, the name that Papa Big Dick was looking for when talking about Resident Evil was the Nemesis.
Nemesis, thank God.
Sorry, my inner geek had to say something. He continues, I think that the word addendum is a bit off for AC Brotherhood and Revelations. It's more like the mother of all DLC packs. I can't agree with that. Because DLC implies that it's downloadable content that's going straight to the game that's already there, considering that these were released as other things, I consider them addendums. The way that I see it is AC Brotherhood is AC 2.5, and then Revelations is 2.75, because they had to work out the rest of the bugs and finish things out, and then they went into AC 3. He continues, Toast has pet ferrets? Interesting. And I've already okay, before he gets on the next part, I don't have pet ferrets yet. I'm going to be getting pet ferrets in the future. I don't have them yet. And he continues, I've already written to my congressman about video game movies, and they wrote back screaming, who am I to ask them to ban something that is shitty just because the people don't like it? Oh yeah, an American. Mini rant aside, I have to compliment the music choices this time around, guys. Pretty good choices, even though I picked one of the songs. Your switch up didn't bug me at all. Gunny's voice is too sad sounding that I knew the voice my deity uses. He continues, the Microsoft Point raffle sounds fun. I'm going to try for all possible points. It'll be the only competition I have any chance of winning, aside from possibly a spelling bee, mock trial, or debate. I'm a fucking nerd. I believe I belong into the group you mentioned, Toast. I'm a slob with metal band tees, but can speak very eloquently when forced to. He continues, the Ditto conspiracy was not explained. Explain! Not so much a conspiracy, just that the idea that Ditto has the exact same color, shiny color, weight, and size as Mew. The only place, or one of the only places to originally catch him was in the same Cinnabar mansion, where they kept Mew at. And essentially just the fact that it has the same color, and also the fact that him and Mew are the only 2 Pokemon that can learn Transform. So it's been implied that Ditto is the extracted DNA out of Mew before they created Mewtwo, and that's why he can become any other Pokemon, because he technically would be the raw DNA of Pokemon. Continuing, there is a My Little Pony Pokemon Ponyta. No.
Ponyta actually looks kind of
Jesus
cool though.
Christ.
Like he doesn't look all
No.
bitchy.
He doesn't look like a fucking faggot.
Yeah.
Ponyta
That was
doesn't look
no
like
offense.
fire,
Puff Up
motherfucker.
Girls.
That was no offense to anybody gay out there. I didn't mean to sound like that. I'm just saying. I hate My Little Pony with a passion.
Like Ponyta is on
and you
fire.
can what is the voices? You're never alone. I want to know.
Oh gosh, you
Quick
gotta be
little
quick about
quip,
it.
real quick. I had we'll just put her as an ex that ended up having schizophrenic episodes, which is one of the reasons that things stopped. And she had called and would said something about being alone or something. This was years ago. Yeah,
Like 4.
Gunny here can attest to years ago. And because of her schizophrenic episode, we had gotten into an argument on the phone. She said something about being alone because I wasn't talking to her. And I go, "Oh, don't worry, Lori. With the voices, you're never alone."
Jesus Christ.
That was a dark day for me and Gunny. Gunny laughed hysterically. He almost died choking.
I
one
fell
time.
down.
He fell down laughing. That was one of the best days anyway. He continues, I was at the park bench Wednesday. Where were you, Toast? It was cold, but I did kill the hipsters for you. Sorry I couldn't make it Wednesday. Meet me next Wednesday under the pier at 9 o'clock. We'll stare out into the sunset one last time. And the picture that he included about killing the hipsters is a collapsed Starbucks. Bravo, my friend. Bravo. He continues, begin the response to the special cast. I'm not thinking Hal with the way the Connect works now, but instead of sort of Big Brother is always watching.
That's what everyone's
yeah.
saying.
The reason why I say Hal is because it kind of looks like Hal.
Yeah.
In a weird
Especially
kind of
with
way.
the
boxy and the little
design,
dot
yeah.
on it. It kind of
All you
looks
have to
like
do
Hal.
is tilt it to the side. And
Yeah,
it's
tilt
it's
it
fucking
vertically.
hell.
Yeah. He also says, and don't forget to unplug your Connect before you fap. You never know what the Connect will do with
gosh.
He says, I'd like the Protocol Droid Xbox 3PO more than an Xbox One. Oh, God. And he goes, I've been screaming for bigger lobbies for video game multiplayer. I intend on going into video game development as a career, and I want to go huge. Not even just 64 v 64. I'm talking 160 versus 160. I want to get it to the point where a single game can go on for days while players switch in and out.
Please do.
More power to you.
Please do.
I think that would be great. Having both armies, full armies, go on the battlefield.
That'd be
at
interesting.
once.
Do what Mag could
That would
never
be
do and
amazing.
just expand on that. Like, Mag tried and Mag failed horribly.
Yeah, and then he continued, Why? Why do they have to kill the trading with friends by making a game useless after downloading it? They're ignoring the customers. We all said we don't want it. Why the fuck didn't they listen? We need more details about that. We said our piece. He continues, Toast, everything you said is how people should see what's happening. Video games are becoming more and more and more about, well, let's make money instead of let's make a fucking awesome game. Gunny needs to shut the fuck up. He just sat there saying, I understand where they're coming from, but it's business, while supporting other situations that are stupid. If I was going to hold a bake sale and had to give the profits to the companies that provided the ingredients, it doesn't make any fucking sense. I gotta hand it to. I agree with Bubby here. I feel the bake sale analogy is a little off. I'd have to say
because
that's
companies
off.
are offering ingredients for you to make things.
Exactly. That's a. I see where you're coming from. I'd have to say it's a little off, but I do agree. Gunny, I feel that personally that we have a stronger argument because you just said, well, business is business. If you guys have ever seen that, Film Cow episode, do you remember that one?
No,
With the amazing, what was it? I am something, the Lord of all, and he was like the superhero guy that would appear. He was like the god. Dude, and then, he comes with this one guy, and he's, saying this to her, and he's like, and she's like, I can't believe you're gonna do this. He's like, it's just business, ma'am. It's business.
Oh, yeah, I remember
It's
that.
just business,
I remember
man.
that. I remember that.
Ma'am, it's just business. That's what you were, that entire special cast.
You sound like my dad. Fuck good.
He continues, and no backwards compatibility? What the fuck? What's the point? I agree with Toast. They're gonna make you rebuy the old games if you want to play it on the Xbox One. There we go. I've already said my piece. I hate the no backwards compatibility. I think that's bullshit.
They're gonna do what PS3 did and just, we're gonna put it on the fucking market.
Yeah,
You buy it
exactly.
again.
He continues, so I want to finish this on a more serious note than I usually get with the podcast. I suppose this could count as my podcast recommendation because it's all I can think of. Ignore the poll you posted asking how long the podcast should be. Last I checked, it was a majority for a 30-minute show, to which I say that everyone who recommended that is a goddamn idiot. The FC News takes about 20 minutes or so a half-hour show would be less of an FC podcast and more of an FC newscast for people who would rather listen to what's happening than look at the website. I obviously love the podcast. Just look at the listener mail, and if the podcast were so short. Sorry, my contacts are fogging up. Continue that, Gunny.
I obviously love this podcast. Just look at my listener mail. But if the podcasts were so short that there was nothing but FC news and some quick quips by Toast and Gunny, I'd be disappointed.
I'll continue now. Sorry, that was weird, guys. My contacts clouded up. Anyway, this community obviously takes massive amounts of time and effort to keep it running as smoothly as it does. What's an hour/hour and a half every Monday on top of that? I personally am all for a longer podcast, but I prefer 1 hour over a short newscast every week. Mm-hmm. That brings me to a thing. Guys, write in and tell me what you think. Maybe what we should do, because we have had this worry about time constraints, have an FC newscast that we do on Sunday that recaps battles, and it's about a half-hour show. Mm-hmm. Has all that kind of stuff, couple listener mails, that kind of stuff, important FC and podcast stuff. Then have a podcast that is like normal podcasts are. Like, like the Rooster Teeth podcast, where they just get around and they talk for an hour. About anything. Then we'd actually be able to implement segments.
Then we wouldn't need to...
Because we'd be able to have segments, and we wouldn't have half the show, 3/4 of the show filled up with FC stuff. We'd have an FC cast for news that comes out Sunday as a recap for people. And to be honest, if it was short like that, I could have it up literally, right after battles. And then we could have the podcast.
We'll discuss that because I don't want to put any more time on this podcast. It's already long enough, but we'll discuss that.
Okay, guys, definitely write in and tell me what you think. Anyway, he continues from the podcast Zealot. Bubba, P.S. I recommend Saints and Sinners by Godsmack as your outro theme for episode 10. You're going to get it.
Fuck yeah.
I believe that's the end of the listener mail.
Yes, I believe it is.
Okay, apparently maybe I missed it somewhere. Let me do one check in. Okay, turns out it wasn't there. I remember I had seen it somewhere. Maybe it was in Adrian. Adrian left us some comments on Podomatic that I'm not going to address now. Sorry, Adrian, because it's running a little long. But the analogy that somebody had addressed was, it's the same reason why they don't like Swiss Army. Maybe it was on the forums, why they don't like Swiss Army knives. Because eventually you get to the point where there's so many fucking tools that it's not a goddamn knife anymore. It's a fucking conglomerate. If I wanted a Swiss Army knife with all those tools, I just go out and buy a Leatherman, which I have. Every male should own a Leatherman, by the way. Best multi-tool ever. And that's kind of my argument that I feel. Eventually, it stops becoming a gaming console and it's a full entertainment system that's going to pick up, radio and everything. And I don't want it. I don't want it. I want a gaming console.
I don't have a problem with that.
I want a gaming console.
I have to go with
People have said they don't want 5 boxes that do 8 different things. They want it all in one concise package. I don't.
I have to go with Toast with this. I wanted a gaming system. I don't want a fucking entertainment system that fulfills every other need. If I did, I wanted to focus on the gamer, focus on the gamer's need, focus on,
Well, not only that, it's so all-in-one that one of the things that I like, and this maybe just personally be me, for the longest time I had this really nice stereo setup. I had this really nice entertainment setup that I actually did with full surround sound and everything that I put in myself. I like the fact that it came in different pieces because I could customize it. I didn't want an all-in-one. Because with an all-in-one, you're stuck with one type of quality. When you're able to piece things together, you're like, I can take this from that, I can take this from that, I can take this from that, because they specialize in this, they specialize in this, they specialize in this. Maybe, for example, back when I set this up, maybe I wanted a Sony cassette, because yes, I still listen to cassettes, and CD combo. But I wanted maybe a Bose, turntable for vinyls. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want an all-in-one. I want to customize to get the best of the best of the best in every area. Okay. Maybe the Xbox One won't have the best for one of those things. Maybe the PS4 will.
See,
do I have to buy 2 consoles now? Or maybe my Blu-ray player is just better in general and I want an extra Blu-ray player. I don't want it all-in-one. I want a gaming console to be a gaming console.
That's, that kind of adds to, my point into
I don't have a problem with it personally because, I use those apps. Like, I use the Netflix a lot. I use the HBO Go a lot. I would use the Internet Explorer more if it actually had some sort of actual functionality. But yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
See, guys, I'm gonna have to cut this off now. We're running towards an hour of just the listener mail discussion in and of itself. Good thing we devoted it to it. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this up now because it's getting really long. Just to let you guys know, thanks for listening, of course. This is a full testament to the fact that we need to be more choosy with our listener mail. From now on, we're not going to list everything on air. I will send a message to everybody that we don't talk to about. So from everybody here at the FC Podcast team, sorry for cutting it short if you guys were into that discussion. Definitely thanks for listening. Send us in those codes. Start sending in listener mail with your points so you can get points so you can get into the raffle. And of course, stay classy.
Go fuck yourselves.
Love you.